Hi everybody, this is Linda from Introvert Outdoors. Just a quick update. I'm getting packed for my road trip. Got one more day of work and then I'll be headed out. So stay tuned and we'll get you some videos. Come along and travel with me. Thanks.
Needles curved like fish hooks. To get even close to this devilish vegetable, you need leather gloves and a...
Hey, welcome to a series of videos that I'm going to do about my sabbatical that I took in September of 2019. As I headed out here into traffic, it was late morning. I was excited to leave the regular life behind for a little while and go out on some adventure. Headed out over the pass. It began to build excitement in me as I headed out away from the normal, away from regular life, so to speak. And as many of you know, Western Washington, where I live, is quite a bit different from Eastern Washington, where I was headed. And so I'd come on this road many times for hiking. And as soon as you get over the top, though, you immediately go into Eastern Washington, which is a different climate, a different landscape even, and a different culture. People are ranchers and farmers and work in other types of industries there. Hardworking people, good people, and very much different politics also from Western Washington. And so as you can see, it's a dry side of the state and very much dependent on irrigation for their farming. And we'll see in just a bit where that comes into play here. My first stop was at the Ginkgo Petrified Forest, where I-90 meets the Columbia River, and I apologize for it being slightly out of focus, but I didn't realize that the camera was in that condition. So outside, there's a little visitor center. Outside you see the little exhibit of different petrified wood, and there's also a day use area, camping area, there's some trails. And the visitor center inside has some nice exhibits as well. There's a boat launch right down below. You can see there in this one. There's the Columbia River, which is the mighty dividing line in our state. Along with the mountains, there's also a dividing line. But there's the source of our irrigation for all those farms that I mentioned. Here's a little close-up look at some of the petrified rock. Very interesting. I find that fascinating. There's more information inside the visitor center. And there's the bridge that I'll be driving over in just a little bit here. It's at Vantage is the name of this. And then we'll be turning to the right, to the south, once we're off that bridge. And here we are, crossing the mighty Columbia. I was fascinated from the very start of this trip with the geology, the various rock formations and the mountains, and how the geology was formed, and how it is continually forming through erosion and other processes. Something you don't think about an awful lot is the geology. And so I became more and more interested in learning more about geology. The irrigation that you get from the Columbia and other rivers is extremely important in eastern Washington. Fruit trees, orchards, other types of crops can be grown where we have irrigation. And where it's not, it's the native sagebrush, which is an important habitat for many forms of wildlife. And finding the balance between the two is a little tough sometimes. And so here we are going down south along the Columbia. And there is one more stop I'm going to make on that first day, and that is a trip to Wanapum Dam. From childhood, I've been fascinated by hydroelectric dams, of which we have many in our state. When we went on road trips, I'd always make Dad stop at them and take the tours. I didn't have time to do a full tour, but I did stop in and visit the visitor center for the Wanapum Dam, which is run by the Grant County PUD. And they have a very nice visitor center. You can check out their website to see about tours, possibility for tours, etc. But I did enjoy my stop there, and I did go inside the visitor center, as you'll see here in just a second. I do apologize for the imperfections there on the camera lens. I was using 3 different cameras. My dash cam, which you'll see with the date and time stamp on it, and this is from my old DSLR, which is old. And then also my cell phone I used on a few occasions. So, and here you have the dash cam view. And depending on what time of day it is, you'll see the bugs on the windshield or a clean windshield. Just depends. So I apologize in advance for the imperfections. And that was one of the reasons that took me so long to get this first one out. I'm a perfectionist. What can I say? I realized just get it out, let people see what you have, and we'll get better as we go along. So eventually I came back across the Columbia here, and headed down towards my first stop, and I decided to stay at a county park for my first stop. It's a campground called the Horn Rapids County Park. Very simple campground. You'll see here in just a moment. About 22 spaces, I think. No hookups. It did have electric. Actually, it did have electric. And so showers and a little open field. And here we are pulling in. Some trees, so you had a little bit of shade, a little bit of sun, and of course the standard picnic table and fire grate. But there was electric as part of the fee. And you can check on the website for info on that. And with that, I will leave you with a few scenes from the campground. And in our next video, that I hope to get out one every week here, in our next video, we're going to be visiting part of the Manhattan Project here in Washington State. Site of the B reactor at Hanford, and that was an extremely interesting visit. So I'll leave you here with just a few shots more of the campground, and take care. We'll see you on the road.